Stand by. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be talking about general purpose rifles. I did a short about this about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a minute long, and definitely not enough time to talk about general purpose rifles. So I got a little fact sheet here that is the basics, and I'll go ahead and show mine. So I got a bunch of shit here in the way. Who knows how this is going to look, but okay, this is my general purpose rifle. This is a 13.9 inch. The upper is made by ADM, American Defense Manufacturing. They do some pretty good stuff. The upper will run you around $1,000, maybe 1,200 bucks. Obviously the optic is a little more than that. The optic is an Elcan Specter 1:4. Can do some cool stuff with that. And then of course the lower is an LMT Mars LS. I've got a Cloud Defense Rain Micro, or their Mini, whatever the heck it's called. I've got some LARP Lab vinyls on it that are holding it pretty well to the abuse. Yeah, I've got rail scales. I've got I think it's a BCM QD point for a sling. I'm not sure. They're all the same. They all do the same shit. Whether you spend 10 bucks on Amazon or 60 bucks for the new, the new. Yeah, so pretty basic setup, honestly. It does the job. And I do have a sling. I was going to talk about sling separately, but sling, warhorse concepts. So yeah, for your general purpose, obviously I have a suppressor as well. Put a little tape on there so you don't see the serial number, because that's definitely going to change things. So I'm not going to go through putting it on, but yeah, QD, or whatever the fuck you call them for these. Lock and collar, throw it on there, screw it on, easy peasy. Here's another rifle setup. This is not a general purpose rifle. This is a 5.5 inch barrel, 300 blackout. So what is a general purpose rifle, right? So this is going to be your grab and go in any scenario. Man, another talking balaclava. Why? I got an eyelash in my eye. Oh, yep, there it is. Anyways, so I've got a few rifles here, and I'm going to go ahead and talk through why you want a general purpose rifle, right? If you only have one rifle, I would suggest building out something like this. If you, for whatever reason, whether it's monetary, whether it's, hey, I don't have any room in my apartment or house or condo or whatever, I can only have one rifle. My wife will only let me have one rifle, okay? You're going to want something like this, right? 13.5, 13.9, 13.7 inch barrel, 14.5, a 16 inch. This is going to be your do everything, right? You can pick it up and defend your house. You can defend your homestead. The world is ending, right? Everybody has these dreams of the world ending and, nuclear fallout and whatever. This is going to be the rifle that you grab when the world is ending and you need to protect your family and hunt with it and, join the new militia or, whatever the heck is going on. That's going to be this, right? It's going to be the weapon that you can trust the most. And I have the most amount of rounds to this. As you can see, it's well loved. This is a second paint job on it. It is coming up nicely. Getting a little torn up, which is fine, right? It's painted for a reason. It's gonna wear and tear. And the optic setup, I mean, you can really do anything that you want. It's whatever you are comfortable with and whatever your ranges are. Right, if you're going and hey, I'm going to be defending my house, which is the maximum engagement distance is 10 feet, right? You can throw an EOTech on it, right? Everybody knows what an EOTech is. This is a XPS 3-0. Or you say, hey, I have a couple of acres, and I know that I might have to defend at a 500 meter engagement distance or something like that. Hey, maybe you want a magnifier behind your EOTech, or you have night vision, right? You have a night vision setup, something, whether it's a Somo gear or PEC 15 or you know, whatever. You might have a maul on there. You might want to throw a little riser on there. You might want to get a little distance above your pec, right? Some height over bore. But for all intents and purposes, general purpose rifle is, right? You're going to have that medium length barrel, right? You're not going to have, you can't have an 18 inch, right? You can, right? This is behind me. You can't have an 18 inch barrel. You can have a 20 inch barrel, right? You can have a M16A2 setup as your general purpose rifle. If that is what you are proficient in, that is what you should be having, right? So I put 16 plus inch barrel here because it could be 20, right? If you're blessed by God and you've got that big old thing slinging around you, oh, hey puppy, then yeah, grab the 20 inch barrel, right? Optic, you want something that you can rely on. That could be an ACOG. That could be a Elcan. Dog, leave me alone, buddy. Leave me alone. An aim point T2, right? If you're proficient with a dot, a single dot, and you're good at 1x, if you're in the Army or the Marine Corps, you're probably used to shooting with either 1x or 4x out to 500, right? In the Army, I had a comp M4S, and we were regularly engaging at 400 to 500 with just a dot, right? And you're hitting a man-sized target. If you're proficient doing that, then more power to you, man, you know, or woman, sorry, 0.8% of you that are females. If that's what you're proficient in, then send it, dude. But you want something that you can rely on, okay? And if you're really into the world prepper, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get batteries. Maybe you're gonna want something with an etched reticle. Maybe you're gonna want something that doesn't even need batteries at all, right? Something like an ACOG, something like an Elcan has an etched reticle. It does take batteries though, right? Or maybe you just want iron sights. I don't recommend just having iron sights on your rifle. I'm not a big iron sights guy, but if that is what you are proficient in and you know, I can grab my M16A2 with the irons and hit a target at 400 easily, I'm happy for you, man. I am generally happy for you. Next up, sling, and set it up correctly. Don't just throw your sling on. You know, I've got a million different fucking sling points on here, right? I could throw it here, I could throw it here, I could throw it everywhere, right? I could also tie it around. I could tie it into these 2 points. But make sure that you put your sling on you and you make sure that it's gonna work correctly, right? So for mine, I've got 2 QD points, right? And my sling is super easy to set up, okay? Bam, okay, check to make sure it's in there. Flip it over on the other side. And bam, make sure it's secure. That's how I run my sling, okay? I think I might have done it backwards, right? But quick, easy, to the point. On something like this is not my general purpose rifle. I don't even run a sling. This is what I would be grabbing if there was a bump in the night in my house, on my land, whatever. It doesn't run a sling. I just don't want something that's going to be getting in the way of, you know, whatever. That's just one more thing, one more point of failure. That's just something you don't really want. Okay? A light. You're going to want a good light. I think the bare minimum, I see a lot of people with O lights. I would not buy an O light. I would not recommend it. Okay? I would highly recommend putting at least the money of a Streamlight Pro Tac on your rifle. Okay? Please, please, please invest in a decent light. All of mine are, I've got a cloud, and I've got a mod light, right? They're all decent lights. You're gonna spend the cheddar for them, right? This is $300 to $400 light setups. You can get these used now on gun accessories for sale for $150 to $200 if you can snag a deal, which is actually pretty good, right? Your Streamlight Pro Tacs new are gonna be, I think, somewhere around 110. I don't know, I don't own one, but I see them around that price point, 100, 110, 120, I believe. But you're just gonna want something that is going to illuminate well, okay? And have it set up to where you can actually use it correctly, right? You don't want it on the wrong side, right? You're gonna wanna be able to have a good grip of your rifle, right? And if you have a pressure pad, which I recommend, and I believe even Pro Tacs come with pressure pads, have it set up to where it's comfortable for you, right? Everybody's different. I see some crazy shit on Reddit and YouTube and stuff that wouldn't personally work for me, but if it works for the guy or the gal, that's all that matters, right? If somebody looks at my rifle and goes, man, that's a shitty setup, dude. I don't even know how you use this thing. I mean, the optic and the light and the sling and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I've got, I don't know, 7,000 or 8,000 rounds through this one currently. and it works, right? This is how it works for me. And I had to get the rounds through it to know how it works for me, right? I originally had the Elcan on a riser, and I had a laser on here. And I thought, okay, this is gonna be my night fighting gun, right? I've got PVS 14s, I've got a helmet set up over here, right? I thought, this is it, this is my night fighting gun. And then I came to realize, this is not my night fighting gun. So, you know, I made some switches, I put it back on here, I re-zeroed, and I know that the basics arms mount is what works for me, and I love it, right? I love this setup. All right, so the last thing that I'm gonna be talking about is suppressors. Not everybody can get suppressors, depending on what state you live in. Not everybody can afford suppressors, right? This is a year-long wait, let's just say for, you know, for most people, 9-10 months. I'm rounding up to a year. So it's a year-long wait, and it is a $1,000 investment that you're just not going to see for a year, which sucks. It absolutely sucks. You know, fuck the ATF. But suppressors are amazing. After I started shooting with suppressors, I never went back. I hate shooting unsuppressed now. It sucks. You can go cheaper, right? This is a Rex Silentium MG7, and it is an amazing suppressor. And this is a $500-ish suppressor, $200 tax stamp, right? So you're out $700. But I can throw this on my ARs, not this one, obviously it has a, you know, surefire muzzle device. But I can unscrew this and I can throw it onto a 5.56 AR. I can throw it on a bolt gun. I can throw it on pretty much most of the guns in my collection. And it can suppress well, and it can take a beating, man. That thing can take a beating. So moral of the story is, find something that's going to work for you. Build something and then run it and run it and run it and run it and run it, right? Don't put $4,000 into your gun and then say, cool, this gun's finished, I'm gonna throw it in my safe. I'm gonna grab it when something happens, when somebody breaks into my house, when shit hits the fan, when the nuclear power plant down the road from me, you know, blows up, and I'm gonna be good to go, right? No, you need rounds through this thing, man. I'd rather you spend $1,000 setting up your rifle and then $2,000 on ammo, right? Not $4,000 on your rifle, and then buy like 2 boxes of ammo and put it through and be like, yep, that's it, man, that's it. Sick. So anyways, that's it. I wanted to do a full, you know, long form video. I do a lot of shorts. This video is not sponsored by anybody. I bought all of this myself. If I buy something, I'm going to recommend it if I like it, right? I love EOTech. I love Elcan. If you ask any of my friends, they will say that I never stop talking about the Elcan. I love this optic almost as much as I love like my kid and my dog, right? It's not great to say, but I love it, right? And anything that I buy here, I bought with my own money. Nobody sent me any of this. I am a small YouTuber that doesn't do YouTube for money. I have a job. Not that YouTube is not a job. You know, props to everybody that does it full time and whatever. But I'm kind of just here to spread the good word of the Second Amendment and share a little bit of knowledge that I have as a former infantryman. I was in the Army, 25th Infantry, and after that I've been a government contractor doing various jobs for 4 or 5 years now. So my knowledge comes from that. I am no special forces, you know, 18 X-ray, fucking Ranger, SEAL, or anything else like a lot of the famous YouTubers. I am just a dude, and I try to shoot a lot. I don't shoot as much as I would like to because I have a lot going on in my life. No excuse, but I shoot more than most people, I believe. I talk to a lot of guys that are like, yeah, man, I shoot a lot. I shot 300 rounds through my Glock last year, and I just shot, you know, 100 rounds through my shotgun. I'm like, wow, 400 rounds, dude. Crazy. And, you know, to each their own. I'm just happy that people are getting out there and shooting and, you know, doing what they want to do and doing what they love and having the freedom to do what they want to do. Anyways, long story short, I'm Intel Goons. If this is the first video that you're watching of me, thank you so much. Like and subscribe if you think you want to see more like this. I post a lot of stuff over on my Instagram. Link will be down in the description, but I am Intel Goons on all social media. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. So thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully I'll see more of you in the future.